What is going on behind the scenes? Is there a team of people that are going after these MPs?
Lori has crossed the floor, but what was really in it for her? Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today, the timeline is very clear that there was millions of dollars being sent up to her riding in Nunavut, but was there something personal in it for her? That's what we're going to dig deeper into here. Let's jump into this. We've got Mark Carney coming down with Lori Idlout. Listen to this. He gets questioned on this being an undemocratic process. Look how he responds.
Prime Minister, Good morning, everyone. Well, I'm very honored to welcome Lori Idlout to our caucus. It is a great pleasure. One of Canada's greatest constituency MPs. You represent a riding that is the size of Mexico and very down to earth. And we've had conversations about what we can do, both large and small.
The reason why he said that is to make her riding seem more important, and the fact that she's joining him makes it seem more important. In reality, it's probably the least populated riding in all of Canada, or one of the.
In Nunavut, large projects, but also helping everyone get ahead. So all for Canada, Canada for all.
Are you disrespecting the democratic process? Is this disrespectful to the democratic process?
Could you respect the democratic process and allow the deputies?
Lori, what did the government say to get you to
This is all a joke to him. He laughed at that question. This guy does not care about our country.
cross the floor? What did they tangibly promise you? More consultation, specific asks? Like what incentivized you?
Like with any complicated issue, it wasn't just one thing that happened. There are a variety of many things that have allowed me to really reflect on this, and I'm very thankful to be so warmly welcomed.
What specifically?
We're going to look at the real reason why she crossed the floor, but first, look at this nonsense.
Officer. RCMP, please move. Please. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, when you have a lively group, look, they're all standing up. There you go.
This is the most amount of floor crossers in a short period of time here, within a year, ever in Canadian history. This is undemocratic what they're doing here. This should be against the law. This needs to change. Now, Lori says there's multiple reasons why she's crossing the floor. We've got Canada Proud posting this. Carney plays politics at your expense. January 5th, $8.5 million for linguistic education in Nunavut. January 30th, $250 million to build 750 homes in Nunavut, which we've got here. This deal, GN and the feds agree to $480 million for 750 new homes. February 6th, $600,000 for digital literacy in Nunavut. February 19th, $228 million for a series of projects in Nunavut. For March 4th, $6 billion in trade and infrastructure funding for Nunavut. March 10th, Nunavut NDP MP Lori Idlout crosses the floor. I think there's more to it than this. This is obviously a ton of money going to court her, trying to get her to cross the floor, not doing what's best for Canada, just trying to get people to flip sides. Everyone should be reminded that the Nunavut riding here has a total of 36,858 people. Look how many millions of dollars are being spent there. On top of that, we have this hydro dam that made its way onto Mark Carney's major projects list just back in November. This is a $500 million, right there, $500 million project they estimated back in 2017. It's probably drastically increased in price. This basically gets the entire community off of diesel, and they'll have their own hydro dam. We also have this one from Politico that shows Idlout had been courted by the Liberals for months, enticed by the $50 million Ottawa announcement last month for Canada's first Inuit-led university, plus $115 million to extend the Inuit Child First initiative for a year. All that Arctic attention and defense spending doesn't hurt either. I think it goes deeper than this. Sure, there's a lot of money there. Could there be something else on the table that's personal for Lori Idlout? Now, normally I don't dig into family members, or I don't bring up family members, but it's important in this case because it's relevant. We have this release here from Nunavut RCMP. This is back from December 30th, 2024. You can see here in Iqaluit, Nunavut. Looking at this RCMP report, we see none other than 27-year-old Robin Idlout. Now, who is this? Took some digging. First, we're going to look at this parliamentary transcript here that says, I love Robin. It says, I speak to the people in recovery and I hope they keep strong in their journey. I love Robin. I love Lloyd. Their strength inspires me. I thank the Bruce Oak Recovery Center and Scott Oak and his family for establishing the center. Now you're wondering, what is all this? Well, first off, Bruce Oak Recovery Center, which we see here, is in, over here, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Bruce Oak Recovery Center. Zooming out, you can see this is in Winnipeg, Manitoba. This is important because if we go back to the RCMP release here, on December 4th, 2024, Winnipeg Police Service ICE unit executed a search warrant at the location for where the suspect was residing. The suspect was identified as 27-year-old Robin Idlout. You can see for possession of CP, accessing CP. If we look towards the top here, it says, through the course of the investigation, the SIT unit was able to identify a male suspect and learned that he had relocated to Winnipeg, Manitoba. As it says right at the top, the special investigative team has been investigating all incidents of internet CP over the course of 3 years, and the suspect surfaced in 5 separate police investigations, all believed to have occurred in Iqaluit, Nunavut. As in, Robin Idlout was living in Iqaluit, Nunavut, had 5 separate police investigations, went to the Winnipeg Bruce Oak Recovery Center, 27 years old. If we look at Lori Idlout's Wikipedia page, you can see that she is 51 years old. If you do the math going back a couple years, roughly, she would have been 22 years old when she had Robin. If Robin is indeed her son, they share the same last name. But if we look on her Wikipedia page, there's no mention of Robin on here. Type in Robin, nothing comes up. That is until we use the Wayback Time Machine and we look at her Wikipedia page, which we have here. So if you put that link into here, you search it. If you go to 2024, you go to October 10th, click on this link here, we will get a different version of her Wikipedia page, which is not the same as the live version. This one here shows life and career, political career. This version from October 10th, 2024, personal life and career. And what do we have? Idlout is the mother to 3 sons, Nastania, Samuel, and Robin, and then 4 daughters. Now, I can't verify for sure if this is her son. Now, it seems to line up that she has a son of the exact same name that moved from Iqaluit to Winnipeg. The Winnipeg police picked up this guy with the exact same name. At the bottom of this report, it says Idlout was released from custody and next court appearance is scheduled for January 13th, 2025. So that was over a year ago. And looking into these cases, they roughly take about 18 to 24 months to be resolved. I'm just speculating here, but maybe the judges would go easier on Lori's son if she was more helpful to the government. Could this be one of the reasons why she crossed the floor to the Liberals? Is there something in it for her personally? I don't know. I'm asking here. I'm just asking questions, looking up facts on the internet, asking some questions. In a country of woke judges with ridiculous rulings, whether it's First Nation land title stuff, you got asylum seekers who end Canadians' lives and then get off easy just so they won't be deported. Is this really so far-fetched? Just some speculative ideas to throw out there. So to sum up, if Robin Idlout, who I presume is Lori's son, who is currently charged but not convicted, if he gets convicted and his sentence falls in line with what you would typically expect from those charges, then it seems this has nothing to do with the floor crossing. But if his sentence is reduced or reduced a lot for no real good reason, then I think it is fair to ask questions about why this would happen. Did this have something to do with her floor crossing? This is how we hold our government to account, to pay attention to what comes down the pipe here and who's benefiting from what. Jumping over to CTV, we got Tom Mulcair giving his take on this whole situation.
Your reaction to all of this and what we just heard from Lori Idlout, pretty short statement there as to why she decided to cross the floor. Your thoughts?
It was a perfectly prepared statement by Lori Idlout saying that it's a complex situation. It wasn't a single item that was discussed. There were a lot of things in play. And Prime Minister Carney.
Yeah, which items are in play? I can guarantee you Tom's not going to be bringing up what I just showed you.
Prime Minister Carney promptly escorted her into the caucus room where she could be greeted and applauded by all the other Liberal MPs. It's big news for the Liberals because we've been playing the game of counting the number of seats, knowing how close they were getting to their much desired majority. And I think that Lori Idlout is a huge catch for Mark Carney's Liberals right now. It's on top of the 3 other, in that case, Conservatives who have crossed the floor to join the Liberals. And yeah, it makes a big difference. It's interesting, if you've been following this going back to January, Lori Idlout didn't say she would never join the Liberals. She said, basically, not now. So that left the door open. Okay, what's being discussed? And by accident or design, there have been any number of important announcements, including a university in Nunavut, but also big spending on helping child health and social services, helping reduce the outrageously high cost of food in the far north, and of course housing, which is a huge issue because these communities are expanding greatly, and there's a lot of pressure on the housing side. So Lori Idlout clearly is someone who cares so much about her community and her riding.
And she's using her power here in an undemocratic way to get more for her community. Millions of dollars. Is she getting something else for her son? Will the judges be a little bit more lenient when they sentence him? I think these are fair questions to ask.
That picture of the NDP complaining bitterly that she should have to face another election, but such are the rules. You're allowed to cross the floor. I do think that the smartest proposal is a relatively simple one. It comes from academics who put out a great book last year called No I in Team. And they went through every single case of floor crossing in Canadian history. They come up with a simple idea, which is to say, you're not going to tell anybody how they're allowed to vote or who they can vote with. You can't do that. But you could have a 6-month cooling off period before they're officially counted as being part of the caucus of the team that they'd like to go to. That would give the people in the riding the time to express themselves and give them, a bit of a fair deal with regard to the people who voted for them.
That's a ridiculous way of doing it because they can just keep voting with the Liberals, even though they're independent. It has to go to a by-election where they have to earn the vote of the other side if they want to cross.
I think that that's the type of idea that could be done pretty quickly. You just change the rules for the House, and that's the type of thing that could be done. The fact of the matter is the Liberals are not only after the majority on big votes in the House, confidence votes, but they're looking at being able to control the committees, because that's where most of the work in Parliament gets done, when you're doing the more gritty detail of the laws. And they'd have to prorogue because they can't just change the chairmanship. But if they want to, once they have that majority in the House, they could start changing the committee process, and that would give them a real working majority and maybe obviate the need or the desire, certainly on the part of the Liberals, to go to a more general election. I don't think that's off the table yet, but this is looking like the type of thing that could postpone that for some time.
Interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like they're going to go to election now. They don't need to. Something else to note, there's now 3 Conservatives and 1 NDP have flipped. So that just basically removes all of those Liberals who were campaigning in those areas out of their position. Carney doesn't care about that. He doesn't care that those Liberals were campaigning for those jobs and now essentially have been thrown in the garbage bin.
And you answered my next question, which was going to be why her and why now. Tom, you've seen this play out many times. How much guts does it take to cross the floor, leave your party?
It depends on the case. In the case of Lori Idlout, I think it's one of the clearest examples of somebody who's saying, okay, I come from a part of Canada that has serious needs. I'm sitting with the rump of the NDP. We're down to 7 seats. Now they're down to 6 with her departure, and they're going to be down to 5 because Alexandre Boulris is leaving the NDP to go to Quebec solidaire. So, she says, what can I get that done there? The needs are unlimited, and the ability to move things when you're in the 4th party are very, very limited. So she's looking at the situation, I think, with clear eyes and saying, I want to get what's best for the people in the region that I'm from. And the best is going to be attainable by being part of the government. It's as simple as that. And
she's done the best job of twisting Carney's arm to get the most possible. Look at Chris D'Entremont, got literally nothing. Didn't get a trip overseas. Michael Ma got to go over to China. Matt Genereux got to go over to India and got his advisory position, which likely gives him an extra $20K a year. Lori Idlout getting millions of dollars for her community and maybe something else for her family. Chris D'Entremont got nothing. Is that going to brew and fester in him? He already felt like he was snubbed by the Conservatives not being able to run for deputy leader. How does he feel now that all these other people are getting way more than him?
I think that it's a lesson that's going to be missed by other people who might be fence sitting right now. People in the GTA who thought that the Conservatives were coming in. A lot of cultural communities went hard with the Conservatives. They got in, several of them, and now they're probably saying, I can't deliver anything. That's something that's going to seep through with a lot of people who are sitting on backbenches on the opposition side right now.
Well,
but those fence sitters are going to want just as much as Lori or at least Matt Genereux has gotten. If they get less, they're not going to flip. The cost has gotten higher for Carney. The thing is, Carney doesn't care at this point. He's got his majority government.
Keep wondering, Tom, is what is going on behind the scenes? Is there a team of people that are going after these MPs? Are they looking at ones that might possibly cross the floor? Are they being courted? Is it up to the MP to come to the Liberals? What are the machinations going on that we don't see?
There does seem to be an organized, concerted effort going on the Liberal side right now. It was hard not to notice that Sean Fraser had difficulty suppressing a smile when they asked him what his role was, and he tried to downplay it. Well, we talked about her. I told her she could call me and things like that. And by the way, tip of the hat to Sean Fraser. This guy could barely speak French at all when he came in and he was made immigration minister. He's clearly worked tirelessly, and he has no trouble now just expressing himself in French. And since it's an issue for some people, I just wanted to mention that it can be done. You can learn a second.
Congrats to Sean Fraser on learning French. He's run our immigration system, now our justice system, into the ground. This is what Tom Mulcair is alluding to. Sean Fraser obviously was working in this relationship for a long time. All these floor crossings has showed how corrupt Canada is. Our system's completely broken. It's absolutely embarrassing. As this person says, this is not democracy. The fact that some Canadians think it's okay MPs can just be bought is not okay. Yeah, there should be an election right away. I mean, if Carney wants his majority, then he should call an election. And democracy was just flushed down the toilet.